That's what we do it like. That's all you getting from me right now at the moment. But my dancing style is a combination of so many different people. I mean, there's James Brown, number one influence, Michael Jackson, Prince, definitely the Temptations, Charlie Atkins, who taught the Temptations and the OJs. Even Marlon Jackson was a strong influence on me. A lot of that kick leg movement and stuff that I do, I get that from them. Kid and Play, Scoob and Scrap, Kenny and Sean, who are Coogee Raps dancers. I study a lot of those guys in the wings of everything. New Kids on the Block, indefinitely. Jordan and Donnie and Danny are official break dancers. A lot of people don't even know that until they see some of the clips of what they were doing before they even became New Kids on the Block. They were called Nanook, and these guys were break dancers. So I got a lot of my stuff from them. Definitely the Jabberwockies, who I've been digging the last couple of years. I even dug some of the things that Usher and Omarion did, embellishing off some of the guys that we learned from. Of course, Michael Jackson, Jeffrey Daniels from Shalimar, who pretty much gave Michael Jackson his swag as far as the dancing was concerned. Michael already had a particular style to him, but Jeffrey Daniel gave Michael the hip hop element because, coming from that world, Jeffrey's already a serious dancer on that level. Jody Watley was definitely an influence on my dancing as well. I tend to study varying degrees of what dancing is. As much credit as I get for my dancing from all my fans all the time, I always tell people about my cousins, and I get a lot of stuff from them as well. It's funny to see them get into different styles of dancing, which I've never really tapped into because my main dancing styles are hip hop, break dance, modern, and of course, group step. And I've always kept it pretty basic to those mediums, which is why New Edition was definitely a major influence on a lot of my moves because all five of those guys, I mean, not counting Johnny, because Johnny was somebody that had to kind of learn how to move like the other five, but Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, and Ralph are all breakdancing kids. So, of course, I automatically connected to them when I was younger, not just with the singing and the voicing, which I got a lot of styles from them, but also especially with the dancing. And Bobby Brown, Ron DeVoe, and Ralph were always the top three dancers to me. So I would always look to see what they were doing in every single New Edition routine. There was always something to learn from that. I mean, same thing goes with the Jacksons. I've always studied Michael and Marlon because both of them were very serious dancers in terms of movement. Like I was explaining to you, that little kick leg thing that I do from the side, I get that from Marlon. And people don't never see the difference when they look at Marlon or Michael Jackson because if you look at Marlon Jackson, Marlon always did one of these and then swing around to the feet. And of course, Michael was later known for the whole, that whole thing, and he kind of brought that extra development into the Jackson form until the point where everybody and their mama started doing that. So that's where I get a lot of my my dancing style from because at the end of the day, the number one person who I mentioned is James Brown because nobody changed the epitome of dancing the way James Brown did. And the only person I would say parallel to him would be Jackie Wilson in terms of the spins and the turns and the splits. Of course, there was such a dynamic that these guys brought to the table. So all day, ever since I was about 6 or 7, I would study various footage, and to this very day I still do when I prepare for my own shows. I'm always studying, grasping, and just being influenced to come up with not only my own moves but how to incorporate the moves of some of my dancing idols, like the ones I just mentioned. And it's very strange when people hear me talk about how New Kids on the Block influenced me dance wise, and they don't understand. Like I said earlier, Jordan and Donnie and Danny are certified break dancers. I've looked at some of the old clips of them when they were first doing like the Apollo. This is before they even got signed. They were called Nanook, and these boys weren't trying to dance. These guys are actual break dancers. MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice definitely played a part in developing in terms of how to take the level of dancing and put it on an even more mainstream level. So I studied both of those guys and took a piece of all of them and kind of made it into my own, and even with certain moves that may have been like out there and outlandish, I always found a way to make it cool because there was a certain time where you couldn't dance anymore, especially after that era then came and went. And I thank the Lord that there were people smart enough to open their minds and say to themselves what was wrong with dancing. And it's a cornerstone of not only our African heritage, but also it's pretty much the foundation that helped to build hip hop where it is today. So when I see shows like America's Best Dance Crew and things like that, I'm just very glad that they're keeping the dance aesthetic alive. And there's a a whole bunch of incredible people doing stuff, younger and older. I mean, there's some, you know, like I said, the Jabberwockies. There's this other couple of dance crews that I've been checking out lately on YouTube and other places. These guys are really doing their thing. And as a choreographer, when I put moves together, I take from so many different angles. I mean, because you can't just get in the moves. You want to give them the emotion behind the moves. There's a certain thing that you do when you're popping and locking and you're expressing yourself. It's always a thing. It's an attitude that comes with it. So, you know, definitely Shabadoo, the original locker, if you will. Turbo Boogaloo Shrimp, if you will, from Breaking. Both of those guys from the movie Breaking. Same thing with Pop and Taco. I studied all of those cats. And, you know, Genuine, definitely a big influence because to me, not to discredit Usher or Chris Brown and those guys, but Genuine was the first dude to bring that element back. If you look at the video So Anxious, he was even groundbreaking in doing dance breaks and videos, and they don't never give him his credit for that. I mean, he was the first dude to stop the middle of a video and say, yo, make him dance, and then he started killing it, and that got me from the gate with Genuine, because not only was he an incredible vocalist and songwriter, but he's one hell of a dancer. So I got a lot of my swag from him as well. And you know, I'm not ashamed to admit it, because in this industry a lot of times people come in, you know, from a new perspective and they don't want to give credit to the guys that help influence them or open the door. And I've seen many people take Genuine style and swag and not even give him any credit for it. So I mean, it's just really important to me that I do these kind of vlogs where I show you where Lord gets not only his musicianship, not only his singing and his rapping, but as well as his dancing. I'm going to show y'all guys and tell y'all guys where Lord gets his swag from in terms of studying these guys and how it comes about. So there you go.